And I believe Jesus.
Yeah, like Martin Luther King Jr. or Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X.
I even go with the man I won't go without sin, the man with the least sin.
We don't know what him and Mary Magdalene was doing. And a man that can turn water into wine want to party.
I want to start by saying this. Everyone has the right to think, feel, and believe, and even say what they want. But when you say something blasphemous, in case you don't know it's blasphemous, it's my responsibility to tell you it's blasphemous. And T.I. and Charlamagne, what you just said was blasphemous. Now, I typically don't do videos like this on my channel, but I felt like someone had to let you know just in case you didn't know. And if this is truly what you feel and believe in your heart, then do us all a favor and stop saying you believe in God. Say that you believe in the God that you have invented in your mind. This person you believe in isn't Jesus. This God that you refer to is not Yahweh. When you wake up in the morning and you give thanks, you're not giving thanks to God. You're giving thanks to the God that you have created. And I will be doing you a disservice to allow you to believe that you truly do love the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, only to find out when life is over that you don't. Here's the truth. A lot of people say that they believe in or that they worship God, but when they describe that God, it is not the God of the Bible. They describe a God who changes with culture, bends with their preferences, and overlooks sin, who looks more like a reflection of themselves than he does the Holy One of Israel. That is not God. That is idolatry. That is a God that you have created, because we know our God by his attributes. Jesus is God incarnate, born of the Virgin Mary, lived a sinless life, died, and then rose again. Any God that is not that is not Yahweh. And I love you too much to allow you to think that you love him, and you don't. You love the God that you have invented, oftentimes called the universe. The one who does not have an absolute standard of right and wrong. The one who, in your imagination, may have been immoral with a woman. The one who isn't perfect, but just sinned a little less than most people. That isn't God. That is a lie. Jesus was indeed without sin. The Bible is very clear. 2 Corinthians 5:21 says, "For our sake, he made him to be sin who knew no sin, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God." And Hebrews 4:15 says, "He was tempted in every way just as we are, yet without sin." If Jesus had sinned, he could not be God. If Jesus sinned, he could not be Savior. His death would just be another execution. It would not have been that thing that saves the whole world. And let's deal with the comparisons. To compare Jesus to Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Elijah Muhammad, who we know for a fact had multiple children with multiple women he was not married to, is not only insulting, but it is historically absurd. Those men were flawed and even admitted their flaws. They were born in sin, lived in sin, and died in sin. Their influence was limited and their lives ended in death. But Jesus is not in their category. He conquered death, and his resurrection was witnessed by hundreds of individuals as a historical event. No one ever rolled back the stone on MLK's grave and said he's not here. No one ever said that they walked with Malcolm X for 40 days after his assassination. But with Jesus Christ, history bears witness he is alive. And to suggest that Jesus had been immoral with Mary Magdalene, or to just call his miracles a simple party trick, is not only wrong or insulting, it is the definition of blasphemy. Be free to think how you think, but never say that no one told you. And here's the truth. Jesus said himself, "I and the Father are one." 1 John 2:23 says, "Whoever denies the Son does not have the Father either." You cannot believe in God while rejecting the holiness and the perfection of his Son. And I'll leave with this here. One day, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. Not that he's a guy, a good guy, not even a great guy, but that he is the perfect Lord. And for you to say you believe in God, but then to turn around and say that you don't believe in the perfection of Jesus, it just makes you look silly. But sometimes we have to allow people to be silly, because after hearing you openly blaspheme the God that you claim to believe in, all I can say is, you are the donkey of the day.